Yo, 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 YouTube. It's card show prep day. I'm going to do a series of videos that I'll put out today showing you how I prepare to be a dealer at a card show. Yo, 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 YouTube. I'm back with a different kind of video today. I'm doing my first card show in probably 30 years tomorrow. So I have to get all my prep done. I actually took the day off of work today, getting all my cards set up, things priced, sorted, laying out my space and all that. And what I wanted to do was show some videos of how I prepare for the show tomorrow. So the first thing I wanted to do was draw out my table space. So you see that on the screen here. I have my 8-foot table, which is what I bought. Now we actually have two 8-foot tables. I bought one and Jason bought one. Obviously, if one of us kind of needs to share space, we'll make everything work. We're partners that way. But I want to do my best to try to fill my 8-foot space as possibly as I can. So what I want to do is figure out how I want to lay out cards, boxes, what I want to bring with me. The temptation is to bring everything with you that you want to sell, but I have a lot of stuff, and I definitely don't want to haul it all there and haul it all back, and I want to make sure that I have enough space. Also, you have the obvious risk of theft, so you want to make sure that whatever you bring is something that you can keep some eyes on. So what I want to do first is, since I'm a dollar box guy, I gotta put some value boxes out. I'm not gonna say dollar boxes because they won't be priced at $1. But I have a 50-cent Favre card box. I have about 20,000 low-end Favre base cards that I'd like to try to move on to another collector. This show is in Green Bay, so a Favre box makes a lot of sense. I also want to do a dime box. I've got a lot of, or dime quarter box. I haven't decided yet. Probably a dime, just so I can get the stuff moving and maybe sell some more in bulk. I have a lot of like semi-stars and inserts of like not known players and things like that I've been hanging on to for a while. I'd like to just get them out there and maybe find them in a collection for someone, or someone who wants to take the time to try to flip and do something else with them. So those are my motivations on my value boxes. I also want to do a value slab box. It would mostly be Favre cards, as that's most of my graded cards, but I do have several other like Beckett cards and just random stuff that I've gotten, that I haven't really sold or even listed. Don't have a lot of space for them. Slabs take up more space, so I have a slab cardboard box that I want to put out as well. And then of course my display case. So as you can see here, I got a really good deal on what they call a bulletin board. So it's a little bit thinner, but definitely enough space to put cards in it. I like the blue background. I think that's going to be eye-catching and make a lot of the cards stand out. And it does lock, so I can put a lot of my higher-end stuff in there and not have to worry about any of it walking off, or somebody just grabbing it and looking at it and having to keep track of it. It would be they would have to ask for it, so which I think is very important. So that being said, let's lay out our 8-foot table. So the first thing we want to do is take our dimensions. So we have an 8-foot table, which is 96 inches. Then we want to measure out what each of these boxes measure, the width of each box. I don't really care so much the depth because they're going to be pushed up towards the end of the table. If I can put stuff behind them on the table, that's fine. But I don't really want people reaching over to the back of the table to get stuff anyway, so I'll probably use most of that extra space for, say, bags, team bags, sleeves, things like that to help complete sales, versus putting product on the way back side of the table, the side that I'm sitting on. So the first thing we want to do is get our space for our display case, because that's going to go, what I want to do is I want to put that in the middle of the table, and then I want to have the monster value boxes on either side. What I've seen a lot of dealers do, and I've experienced this myself going to shows, is they put like all their value boxes in one section and then their higher end stuff in the other. But that causes a couple problems. A, you might get people that just kind of skip over one or the other. They're not really looking at the entire table. If they're value box buyers, they're going to go to the value boxes and then move on, and maybe not look at your case. The other problem I have with that is just space for people that are coming to dig through the boxes. So if you put all your value boxes together, then you have this crowd of 4 or 5 people that are digging, which takes time, and they're all just shoved together. So this way you can spread out some of the traffic at your location, at your table. So you can have, dollar boxes or value boxes here, and then your higher end stuff in the middle. It can be easier to watch too. I mean, if there's hands that grab stuff from out of the 10-cent box, I'm not as concerned as trying to keep the center higher end stuff, out of anybody's hands unless I want them to see it or they're interested in purchasing. So that's my general layout. Now I want to put let's start with this one. So I want to put a value box here. Now these are about 16 inches wide. And I want to put a value box here. So that's going to be another 16 inches. So if we look at our math, that's 32 inches there, and our total space is 96 inches. So if you take 96 minus 32, you've got 64 inches left to play with. Now my case is smaller. It's like 20, what is the measurements in that one? Okay, yeah, so the bulletin board measures 26 inches long and 20 inches wide. Now again, I don't care a whole lot about the length. I know any length that I have for any of these items is not going to be the full length of the table. So I'm not even really tracking any of that. But I do need 20 inches wide for that case. So that leaves me about 44 inches left. Now that's actually a fair amount of space. 44 inches is approximately a little less than half of the full table length. So I have quite a bit of space. Now the width of the discount, or whatever you want to call it, slabs box, approximately 7.5 inches. So we're gonna say 8 inches. We want to keep a little bit of space here, so we're not gonna totally max out our 96 inches. You don't want anything all the way to the very end of the table, so stuff gets knocked off. You also don't want to have everything shoved together. It's nice to have a little bit of space in between so that you can work with, if you have to move the boxes around. I'm actually going to have a few of the 50-cent Farv card boxes. I'm just going to stack them on top of each other unless I find out I have enough extra space. But that being said, we want to make sure that we can fit all our main items in here first. If we have room left over, we can add another box or two. Okay, so that's our display case, and then we have 8 inches we need to take out for the slabs box. So that leaves us with, what is that, 36 inches. So we have 36 inches remaining, which is actually quite a bit. That actually leaves us enough space to put 2 more good sized boxes out, 2 more 5-row boxes out. So I think I'm going to redesign this a little bit, and I'm going to add another 16-inch box here and another 16-inch box here. So let's redraw our table a little bit now that we know what our space is really going to be. So here's our 8-foot 96-inch table. Okay, so we're going to have a 16-inch box, a 16-inch box, a 16-inch box, a 16-inch box, a 20-inch display case, and an 8-inch. That's going to be 8 inches. This is going to be 20 inches, approximately 16, 16, 16, and 16. So again, if we add all these up, let's redo our math here. So we've got 96 inches total, and then we've got minus 16 for the first box gives us 80 left over. Minus 16 for the second box gives us 64 inches left. Minus 8 inches gives us, minus 8 would give us 50, I'm trying to do the math in my head, 52? No, 56. Okay, and then, so 56, so that was minus 8. Now we take that 56 minus 20, that leaves us 36. Minus 16 gives us 20, and then minus another 16 leaves us 4 inches of table space, which we can use to try to get some space in between these boxes, you know, add some supplies in between, you know, set a drink down, whatever the case may be. I also think it's a good idea to have a little bit of space on the table. Let's say someone walks up to your table and they got to set down a stack of cards they just bought at another table so that they can dig through your boxes. Sometimes it's nice to have a little bit of space on there for somebody to work with. So that's what we're looking at. Now I got to decide, since I can fit 2 more 16-inch boxes on there, which is great, then I thought I got to decide what exactly do I want to fill in those. So I'm contemplating doing another 50-cent Farv box is probably a sure thing, and then I might do like some higher end or like some mid-end Farv inserts where it would be like priced as marked type stuff, and that's where the second video will come in. I'm going to show you how I get the cards ready, the different types of cards that are going to be in these different boxes, what time I spend on them, how I price them out, things like that, and show you how that will all be set up inside those boxes. I'm also going to show what cards I'm going to put in the display case. So stay tuned for that. Thanks again for watching. Hope you got something out of this. If you've ever considered doing a show, I think it's a great idea. It's pretty inexpensive. This is actually going to be a really big show. We have Packer players coming to sign autographs. It's at the KI Convention Center, which is a pretty big place. There's a parking garage for it. That's free. The entrance fee is free. Weather's not so great this weekend, so I think we're going to have a huge turnout. I'm going to make several videos while I'm there and bring you as much content as I can and share my experience at this show, my first setup in 30 years. So watch for the next video. I'll post it soon.